Well, this morning on the boat project, we have a low tide, as you can see. Full moon was out there just a little bit ago. So a few things I'm going to just mention. A lot of the traditional boats here, there's just flat surfaces on the bottom. It's not even or straight sometimes. And if you have a bottom like this, of course, it spreads out. There's quite a bit of surface. That area makes it so that you can go over. I mean, it doesn't really take up a lot of water, go into the water very much. You can go over coral reef and go into shallow water. If you know what a McGregor is, sometimes the McGregors tend to wobble in the water if you're speeding. They're really sailboat, speedboat type of design. And there was a McGregor over there in the Marshall Islands that a friend of ours was using, and Craig Scott was the name that I used, like my father, really. He had the suggestion, I guess, to put some strips of wood that would help it go straight. And so this little strip of wood is also for that purpose, but it's also, I mean, it's like a skag, but it's also like a keel. You can call it a keel, but it's not really that big. But the big thing, the really big thing, and of course this doesn't want to be too big, so it's going to make it so we can go right up into the beach. It'll stabilize it in the beach and the sand and whatnot. But the cool thing is that they have these lines, rope line, we call it in the boat world, but here in the Philippines they still call it rope. Anyway, we have these lines that go out 500, 600, 700 feet out of the ocean, and you can't see it, and they don't have buoys. So I was cruising along in full speed one time and hit that, and it stopped suddenly because it hit the propeller. So this is actually going to go up and over. You'll see it's going to actually continue up. So we're putting a lot of epoxy. I'm putting stainless lag bolts deep into it, sideways and down. And this is all hardwood. You can see how I'm in-sinking them, and then we will put epoxy over it. And then, of course, we're going to actually use fillers and fill in all of this area. That's what these guys are working on there, mixing it up. And then we will put a very nice coat of fiberglass and resin, of course, over the top of this. It's going to go right up and over the top. And so that's what we're working on right now, is this skag area. Let me get down here, it's really tricky. Yeah, so that's it there. Dad, can you set that other one up on top on the back? Where's the other piece? Is it there? What happened to it? Did it fall down? Oh, I think it fell down. Let me get it really quick for you. So this piece here, this one, it goes up there. Yes, like that. Okay. So basically what's going to happen is where the propeller comes out, it's going to lift the line up and over the prop and protect the prop. We could even put the prop so that it's inside of the back area of the skag or the keel. And then it's going to inline and kind of run right into the rudder area. We're still designing a rudder. You don't want too big of a rudder, too small of a rudder. Too big would make it, anyway, if it's balanced right, it's fine. But this is a sailing vessel and a speedboat, so we have to take those things into consideration. Now this is kind of interesting. This design that I'm coming up with, we want it light, we want it filled with foam, but we want it very strong. So it's the skin that's going to really give it strength. And so we're putting a marine plywood. This is the reason it's shaped like a half moon, is because if you have a wave coming up from behind, you really kind of at some points you want that wave to just go right under you. You don't want it to push you, especially if there's some white water. You don't want it to push you and then end up sideways, especially if you're a trimaran. You want the wave to just cut right through. And you certainly want it to cut through in the front. The main thing is you want an area that is going to cut down into the water and be a dagger board or a keel to where you can actually tack and sail into the wind. So that's what I'm designing here. There's going to be one of these on each side, and let's get down here so you can see it. It's about 16 feet long each side, and those are flotation devices. They will be actually toward the front, so when you sail, it goes down, and there's of course, the front goes down when you sail, but when you're speeding, it goes up. So when you're speeding, those will be actually out of the water unless you're turning, and even then, I don't want it to be a major problem. So I've got to basically adjust them where they're at so that we can speed, and the back portion will be out of the water when you're speeding and you're angled over. It'll just barely touch, and it's not going to redirect the boat or be a problem in speeding. Okay, so that's it. Maybe a few alterations. We might even put at the bottom of that skag there, we might put a hydrofoil design so that we could lift it out of the water. We'll see how it turns out. But okay, and we're going to put a big diesel 4-cylinder engine in this, so I don't know, maybe 65 horse, who knows, 35 horse, we'll see, but just continue to pray for us. I have to fly to Manila to get resin, fiberglass, stuff like that today. God bless, bye-bye.